What's up guys, my name is Ace, and today we're going to be talking all about time to kill in the Black Ops 6 beta, since this is one of the top complaints that I've been seeing floating around in the community, and I basically just wanted to share the stats with you guys so you guys are armed with the correct information, since I have seen a lot of matter-of-fact claims that are just straight up false, as well as provide some of my thoughts on additional factors that may be missing from the conversation regarding time to kill. So let's just dive right into this, and during the Call of Duty Next event, the developers actually spoke about time to kill a little bit, and the main takeaway here is they mentioned that the time to kill in Black Ops 6 is slightly faster than Black Ops Cold War. Now, many people took this statement as the time to kill is very noticeably faster than Black Ops Cold War, and it leans more toward the faster killing modern Call of Duty games rather than the slower killing ones like Black Ops Cold War. I think a lot of people are also jumping to this conclusion based on the fact that we have 100 HP in Black Ops 6 rather than 150, which is what you typically see with the slower killing Call of Duty games. So let's look at the actual data here, and I pulled this for all of the guns that will be in the beta build of the game. The advanced stats for these were actually leaked, and I did do some spot checking on it to make sure that they are still accurate in the current build of the beta, and as far as I can tell, all of them are. But for the assault rifles in their maximum damage ranges, the XM4 is killing in 300 milliseconds, the AK-74 kills in 276 milliseconds, and the AIMS-85 kills in 320 milliseconds. This gives us an average of 299 milliseconds up close, which, just like the developer stated, this is slightly faster than Black Ops Cold War, but still very noticeably slower than something like Modern Warfare 2019 or Modern Warfare 2, which I have seen a lot of people say that this time to kill is closer to those games than Black Ops Cold War, and that's not the case. In fact, most of our guns are going to be killing in the same number of shots to kill as we saw in Black Ops Cold War. It's just that we're seeing slightly higher rate of fire values on average, which then of course give us slightly faster time to kill values on average. Overall though, the Call of Duty game with the closest comparable time to kill for assault rifles up close is actually Modern Warfare 3, which is among the slowest killing Call of Duty games. Now, that's just the assault rifles. What about the SMGs that we have access to in the beta, as well as an SMG that will be unlocked next week, the Tonto 22, which is actually a 3-shot kill SMG with a very slow fire rate. With these ones, the C9 or MP5 is actually the fastest killing SMG up close at 246 milliseconds. Then the Jackal PDW, which is currently the meta gun in the beta right now. I think a lot of you will be surprised to see the time to kill on this is noticeably slower than the C9 at 264 milliseconds. And then finally, next week with the Tonto 22, assuming none of the stats change between now and then, this is going to have a time to kill value of 272 milliseconds. So just slightly slower than the Jackal PDW. On average, our SMG time to kill value is 261 milliseconds in the Black Ops 6 beta. And this is extremely close to what we see in both Modern Warfare 3 as well as Black Ops Cold War. It's literally a 7 millisecond difference. And again, comparing this to something like Modern Warfare 2019 or Modern Warfare 2, which are both faster killing modern Call of Duty games, those SMGs kill in roughly 175 milliseconds up close. So again, the time to kill in the Black Ops 6 beta is much closer to something like Black Ops Cold War or Modern Warfare 3 compared to the faster killing CODs like Modern Warfare 2019 or Modern Warfare 2. So when it comes to that feedback that I'm seeing a lot in the community that the time to kill is simply too fast in this game, based on the numbers, if we're comparing it to other games in the franchise, this simply isn't true. In saying that though, there are a lot of other factors to consider here when it comes to the experience time to kill in the game. One big factor that I think could come into play down the road, but at the moment, early on in the beta, I don't think this is really coming into play too much. This is the ability to put rapid fire on our guns. Now, rapid fire is quite a late unlock, and I was seeing this feedback about time to kill being too fast in the first day of the beta when the vast majority of players were nowhere even close to having rapid fire unlocked yet. So I really don't think that's a huge part of the equation here when it comes to the feedback in the beta, but it is something I think we definitely want to keep an eye on as time goes on, because that will absolutely result in faster time to kill potentials in this game. As for how much faster, well, at this point in the beta, I've only unlocked rapid fire for one gun, so I can't say this necessarily applies perfectly to every gun in the game, but on the Jackal PDW, rapid fire will give us a roughly 7% boost to our rate of fire, and therefore our new time to kill potential, instead of 264 milliseconds, it's 245 milliseconds. So definitely a little bit faster there, but nothing too insane. It's still within that general realm of time to kill potential that's closer to Cold War than it would be to something like Modern Warfare 2019. So what other factors could potentially be coming into play, making it feel like our time to kill is faster in this game? Well, one of them is, at this stage, we don't know what kind of ranges we're dealing with, and we also don't know how harsh the damage drop-offs are for various guns. Like, one thing I'll say just anecdotally is with the Jackal PDW, it does appear to have quite a long damage range for an SMG. It might not kill as fast as the C9 up close, for instance, but at mid-ranges, it feels like it's really carrying that time to kill out nicely. So that could be part of the equation for sure. Additionally, compared to something like Modern Warfare 3, this game doesn't have separate body multipliers for regular guns, and this means a 4-shot kill gun is a 4-shot kill gun. It's not sometimes a 4-shot kill, sometimes a 5-shot kill, within the same range, and therefore we will be seeing a bit more time to kill consistency, and in general, that could lead to a feeling of a faster time to kill on average. Although on that same note, and it kind of counters this point, without the barrel that boosts our headshot damage, headshots on regular guns aren't actually reducing the number of shots to kill, so that kind of balances out the previous point I just made, where that 4-shot kill gun also won't be a 3-shot kill gun unless you're using that headshot boosting barrel. So at the end of the day, I'm not too sure how much that is actually playing into the equation, and realistically, I think the two primary sources of these complaints are, number one, for people that are comparing this to Black Ops Cold War, in general, I feel the hit detection in Black Ops 6 is actually noticeably better than Black Ops Cold War. And that does make sense with it being on the newer branch of the engine. The older Treyarch branch of the engine was kind of notorious for being a little worse than the Infinity Ward branch when it came to the feeling of hit detection. And since we are on that new branch of the engine, yeah, I would say the hit detection does feel a little bit better. And then the second part here that I also think is very important, and it's not new, this is something we experience pretty much every year, this is simply the desync in the experience time to kill versus time to die. So in many cases, you might be killed by a gun that kills you in 4 shots, but on your end, due to network delays and desync, it may feel like you actually died in 2 or 3 bullets rather than 4. And desync is a complaint that I see literally every single year with the beta, as well as typically a lot within the launch window of every Call of Duty game. If you go back and watch any of my beta review videos, I say the same thing every single year where I do have an issue with desync in the game. And it is a little bit frustrating that after all of these years, they still haven't gotten that worked out to the point where we don't experience this early on. I'm not too sure why this happens literally every single year. But keeping that in mind, I do think that is probably one of the bigger reasons that we're seeing a lot of feedback regarding the time to kill feeling too fast. I think for the most part, people are actually having an issue with the time to die feeling too fast, and that's more likely a desync and networking thing than an actual game balance thing. So when it comes to this, I think unfortunately we just kind of have to wait things out a little bit for that stuff to settle down before we can really jump to any conclusions here, because I think making it any slower than it currently is would end up being way too slow for a Call of Duty game, at least for most people. I know some people would be totally on board with that, but like adding 1 extra shot to kill rate now, for instance, for all of the guns, that would give us by far the slowest time to kill we've ever seen in the Call of Duty franchise for multiplayer. So there you go, those are the stats on time to kill in the Black Ops 6 beta, as well as a bunch of other factors to consider, and I hope we can use that to provide some more accurate feedback to the developers, because it can be a little bit frustrating seeing people provide feedback for something when they're using entirely inaccurate information to base that feedback on, because then the developers are just going to ignore that. But of course, this is where I'm curious to hear from you guys in those comments down below. First off, were you surprised to see these time to kill values and the fact that they're actually a bit on the slower side for Call of Duty? And second, how are you feeling about the current state of time to kill in Black Ops 6? Are you guys generally happy with where we're at? Or do you think it should be faster or slower? Just let me know down below. If you enjoyed the video, a like rating is always appreciated. And don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.